Good morning, students. After a long back, again we are meeting in the online classes. Two lessons I had completed fully. The second lesson answers fully I had given, I think so. There is a small changes in the book back question answers. You just refer and mark it. What are all the questions present in the new syllabus? You just mark it in the book. No need to write all those question answers in your classwork, but you have to do the numerical problems and textbook activities. Textbook activities and numerical problems alone in your classwork. Now we will see the lesson 3, unit 3. Heading is fluids. What do you mean by fluids? Flowing capacity. The matter which has an flowing capacity is called as fluids. We know the three types of matter. What is the three types of matter? Solid, liquid and gases. The first type, solid, won't have the capacity to flow easily. So the easily flowing capacity matter is, one is liquid and another one is gases. So both the things, gases and liquids, both are called as fluids. Except solids, the other two matters, liquid and gases, are called as fluids. So we know, now we came to know the explanation of heading of your third lesson. Learning objectivity. After finishing the lesson, you will be clear with this objectives. First one is pressure. We already know what is a pressure. In the 8th standard itself we studied about in pressure. Variation of pressure, that is, depends upon the height the pressure is varying. Learn the fact that liquid exert upward forces, that is called as buoyant force. Calculate the density. This also we have done in the 7th standard itself. Density is equal to mass per unit volume. The formula for relative density and the behavior of floating bodies. These objectivities we are going to learn. In this, the first objectivity is define pressure in terms of weight. So first we are going to know about pressure. What is the pressure? Where we are able to see the pressure? Only if your mother or the teacher stresses you to make this, do that, you will be saying pressurized, tension, torturing. So some forces which you make to do this, which you compress you to do this. So common reason for all these things is pressure. A small iron nail sinks in water, whereas a huge ship of a heavy mass floats on a sea water. Astronauts have to wear a special suit while traveling in space. All these have common reason called pressure. Pressure is equal to force acting on a area. Force acting in a particular area is called as pressure. For example, some people, because of pressure, they'll be doing work. So the force given by the teacher or the parent will be more on that student. Based upon the force, more force act on that particular student. So more force in a particular area. Pressure is directly proportional to the force. Giving force, you will be doing the work. So pressure is directly proportional to the force and inversely proportional to the area. So if area is large, pressure is small. If area is large, the pressure is small. If area is small, the pressure is large. So this, from the formula, pressure is equal to force by area, I am saying this. Pressure is equal to force by area. So if the pressure increases in a solid based on its inherent properties, it experiences a tension and ultimately deforms or breaks. For example, if you are beating with a hammer a box, small plastic box or some other box, beating with an hammer means what happened to the solid? The solid not able to hold the pressure, that makes the object to deform. The formation will be breaks. In the case of fluids, it causes them to flow. If you pressurize your bottle, if you crush the bottle, the gas or the liquid in the bottle will spill from that. It causes them to flow rather than to deform. Although liquids and gases share some common characteristics, they have many distinctive characters on their own. It is easy to compress a gas, whereas the liquids are incompressible. Learning of all these facts help us to understand pressure better. In this lesson, you will study about a pressure in fluids, density of fluids and their applications in a practical life. From this introduction, in this introduction paragraph, what we are studied, pressure. Pressure is the common fact which is acting on a small iron nail sinking in it in a water and a huge ship flowing on the water. Astronauts wear a special suit because of the pressure. Then what is thrust and pressure? In the second paragraph we are going to learn this. Pushing a pin into a board. Usually we will be fixing the notice board with the charts. For that we need a pin. Using the pin we are fixing it on the board. So we are pressing the head. By its head is difficult, but pushing it with the pointed end is easy, because as I said, the area of the pin at the pointed edge is small. Where the area is small and the pressure will become more. Have you ever wondered why a camel can run in a desert easily? Why a truck or a motor bus has wider tire? Why a cutting tools having sharp edges? In order to answer this question and understand the phenomena involved, we need to learn about two interrelated physical concepts called thrust and pressure. Thrust and pressure. In the using a board pin, we are talking about a board pin. The board pin, at the base of the board pin, the pin is very sharp and the area is very small. So the pressure will become more. What I said, pressure is directly proportional to the force and inversely proportional to area. Where the area is small, you can give a large and large, you can get a large and large pressure, and the force is ultimately, because we have studied, pressure is directly proportional to the force. Whatever the force you are applying on the small area, that will be giving a large pressure. In both of the cases of the above activity, stand on a loose sand, your feet go deep into the sand. Now lie down on the sand. What happens? You will find that your body will not go that deep into the sand. Why? As I said in the board pin, because of small area acting and getting and more pressure. If both the cases, the above activity, the force exerted on the sand is the weight of your body, which is the same. This force acting perpendicular to the surface is called as thrust. Perpendicular to the surface. When you are standing, the surface will become small. The surface area of your feet will become small. When you are lying down, your surface area is large. When you are lying down, your surface area is large. So the force acting on a small area, force acting on a large area, force acting on a perpendicular to the surface is called as thrust. Can you understand now? In this paragraph, we are studying about thrust. The force acting perpendicular to the surface is called as thrust. This means when you are standing, your surface is small. Your whole weight will be acting on a small surface of your feet. The force acting on the surface, perpendicular force acting on the surface, is called as thrust. In this paragraph, what we had learned today, what is thrust? The force acting perpendicular to the surface is called as thrust. When you stand on loose sand, the force is acting on the area equal to the area of your feet. When you are lying down, the same force acts on area of your whole body, which is larger than the area of your feet. Therefore, the effect of thrust depends upon the area on which it acts. The effect of thrust depends upon the area on which it acts. That's why I said pressure is equal to force by area. Pressure is equal to thrust by area. Here we are coming to the formula thrust by area. What is a thrust? Thrust is a force acting on a area, perpendicular area. Here we have studied what is a thrust. Can you able to see the force acting on a perpendicular area is called as thrust. What is a thrust? The force acting on a perpendicular area is called as thrust. Force acting on a perpendicular to the surface is called as thrust. So thrust by area is called as pressure. So what is a thrust? Thrust is a type of force. Thrust is a force acting on a perpendicular area, perpendicular to the surface. Force acting on the perpendicular to the surface is called as thrust. Pressure is equal to thrust by area. The effect of thrust on a sand is larger while standing than while lying. The effect of force is more when you are standing than you are lying. The force per unit area acting on an object is constant, is called as pressure. As I said, pressure is equal to force by area. Here we are getting that definition. Force per unit area acting on a body is called as pressure. Now you can say, what is pressure? Force per unit area acting on an object concerned is called as pressure. Formula for pressure. Pressure is equal to thrust by area of contact. Here the two diagrams given for you. One is for a given force, if the area is large, pressure is low, because area is coming in the denominator part. Goes on the area increasing, the pressure will become less. If the area is small, the pressure is more. Pressure is directly proportional to the force. So the two examples is given there. For the same given force, if the area is large, pressure is low. This is shown in that. SI unit of pressure is SI unit of pressure in physics. For every term we will be learning a definition. For the every definition we will be having a formula and a measuring unit and measuring instrument. Here we have studied the definition pressure. For that we studied a formula thrust by area. Then it should have some unit. Thrust is nothing but force. Force, we know that unit of force is Newton and area is meter square. So Newton per meter square. This, according to Horner the scientist, this pressure is find out by scientist Blaise Pascal. So pressure is also measured by the unit Pascal. Newton per 1 Newton per meter square is equal to 1 Pascal. Have you understood up to this? We will see in the next video.